Hey guys, welcome back to ArtosisCasts. For the next 3 days, we are going to be looking at 3 separate mirror matches. There's been a guy in the comments that has been adamant that we must have some mirror matches. So you know what? Screw it, we're going to do it. Here in the bottom right of Minstrel, it is Tyson. And in the top left, it is the #1 ranked ladder Protoss for quite some time now, Motive. So the barcode is Motive. This is Tyson. And yeah, so this is like Motive obviously got into SSL this past season, had an absolutely embarrassing game against Rush that we've already gone over heavily. That's been casted, you know, in the obviously in the tournament, and some analysis of it, as well as the revenge match. But Motive is very, very strong. This is someone that I think is right. Well, I mean, he just made it into SSL for the first time. And like, I remember when Scan made him for the first time, it was like 2 years before he made it in again. That happens. But Motive maintains the top ladder position as Protoss, like so regularly. He's in great shape. So I think we're gonna see him pretty much maintain SSL, but we'll see. We'll see in the next season. Anyways, I would give him an edge here against Tyson, but Tyson does have a bit more experience. So you can never really count that out, especially in a mirror matchup like this. You know, obviously PvP, it does have some cheesy things that can occur, but you really have to be spot on with build order choice, with kind of reading what your opponent is doing, with your Reaver micro, all these things. Very, very important indeed. Now we have Tyson first scouting across the map, and he's not going to find anything out of the ordinary. Really, both sides going for the quick cybernetics cores and getting those gases up to mine right away. So yeah, looks like very, very mirrored builds at the moment. So while we wait for that, I do want to thank you guys, of course, for checking out ArtosisCasts. Hope that you guys are enjoying, and I do try to mix it up. I don't want to, like, here's the thing. People don't play as much mirror matchups. Like, if you are the race, this is what I've found with mirror matchups. Okay, sometimes you get someone that just likes a mirror matchup. I feel like ZVZ and TVT, sometimes you get people that just like it, and then PvP, people are like okay with it, but I've never seen anyone that's specifically a fan of the matchup. And I would say it's rare to have people that are specifically fans of mirror matchups anyways. But I feel like if you are a player of that race, you quite like watching the mirror matchup because there's like so much that you can learn. And then if you're not a player of the race, you're just kind of like, I don't know. But let me know in the comments what you guys think about that, because I do avoid mirror matchups pretty heavily on the channel, but not 100%. I do like to have them from time to time. But they basically never do as well as the other matches. Like, people do not like to watch them as often. Okay, now this is really cute. Offensive pylon, which will block in the Dragoon. Really, really well placed. Has to be annoying here for Tyson to have to deal with. And an offensive pylon going down in this mineral line as well. Actually, you can't even see it on the mini-map really, but that is an offensive pylon also. So pretty annoying, but honestly, I don't know exactly how much that's doing for him. Dragoon and Zealot here, both following around the probe. Seeing if he can get that kill. Not sure that he'll end up catching it or not. The 2 Dragoons going to come down and end up taking out this pylon as well. It doesn't feel like this is a huge deal because there wasn't the Zealot pressure at the same time. If you get those offensive pylons down and you bring in Zealots, it feels like that always turns out well. But you do miss some mining time, and you get some bad mining as well. So, you know, you only have to make it pay for, or try to make it pay for itself, and sometimes it does do that. So, second gate on the way after the Robo. Second gate on the way after the Robo. Let's check those Robo timings against each other. They're basically exactly the same. This is almost completely mirrored, other than Motive threw down the offensive pylon, as well as he made a Zealot, which Tyson ended up not making there. And Tyson does have that 1 additional probe, and it's 1 to 2 additional probes, because now we actually have a lack of worker production here for Motive. So it seems like Motive is going to get a bit more aggressive. He's getting a shuttle out and continuing to produce plenty of Dragoons out of there. It definitely looks like he's going to be trying some sort of one-base Reaver push. Really good micro from Tyson. He picks off the Zealot. Okay, he does take a little bit of hull damage on that Dragoon, so you do have to be a little bit careful about that. Actually, steps forward. That was interesting. Okay, so we're actually still at the same exact value where he's got 1 hull damage Dragoon in the 60s, and yeah, they both lost 1. So didn't gain value there too much. Well, he killed an extra Zealot as well, so do you trade a Zealot for, 44 health on a Goon or whatever? That's kind of what you're looking at as far as the actual cost. Now, Reaver on the way. More Dragoons still being made. Tyson not making an expansion as of yet, but has the money. There you go. Nexus gets started. Moves his Dragoons out. So this is probably a good case scenario, or one of the best case scenarios here for Motive. He's about to have a Reaver. His opponent just spent money on a Nexus. So if he can get across the map pretty quickly and micro well, I could definitely see him getting some damage done. That being said, of course, there's going to be Reaver tech coming up immediately. He probably will not get a shuttle beforehand. I think it'll just be a Reaver crawling down the ramp. Looks like that was maybe a few seconds late, but he's going to get that started pretty quickly. In the meantime, we do have the engagement starting. So you can see Tyson here does end up losing a Goon, but he did get a Goon pick as well, right? He was guarding this bridge to kind of get those first volleys. He needs to slow this down. He needs to buy a little bit more time. And it feels like he's doing all right. He brings out another Dragoon here as well, trying to get a pick on those Goons, and does get one, but loses another as well. Honestly, this is what you want to do as Tyson. If you can reduce that Dragoon count significantly, it will be easier as you get closer to your base and your units are coming out quicker to deal with the Reaver. But if you both have like your full-size armies, if no units are lost so far in the game, it does much better for the attacker in this case. Okay, so here we go. He's coming up towards the Nexus. Notice how he's going to use the Nexus as kind of like a place to stop these units. He runs forward. He picks the shuttle first and now goes after that Reaver. And it looks like he will get the Reaver. Now, he is down a couple Dragoons right now. Some good micro from Tyson, but ooh, a little bit of missed micro there. Motive gets the kill and will start to go up the ramp. This is looking a little bit rough for Tyson. Tyson does have a few more workers. His Reaver gets out. I don't know that he's going to actually get any Scarabs off. Yeah, and didn't even cancel those, so loses like 3 Scarabs that we're making as well, but does get 1 Scarab off. The probe's actually doing a pretty darn good job on this surround, and I think it's basically held now. Yeah, like 1 more Dragoon coming up, but there's enough probes here that you can actually probably do this and kill these off without too much trouble. He's actually still up in workers, by the way, even though he's losing some of these here. He's making the probes nonstop. This is a really important thing to point out because he was up in probes just slightly, and they're like about even after that. And the Nexus is done, and he's creating probes again. And, right, this is about 3/4 done. 3/4 done. So, actually, Tyson's still going to have a better economy. I know that looked weird, and it looked like Motive was getting ahead. But that was a good hold overall by Tyson. Now he's bringing down his Reavers. He is starting his shuttle speed, and that's before Motive is starting his shuttle speed. So that can be a big game changer. Definitely that shuttle speed, very, very, very powerful. And yeah, Tyson with just a few worker advantage right now. Shuttle speed gets started, so he's got slightly faster tech and slightly more workers. And overall, the numbers are very similar as to what they have. They both have a Reaver and a shuttle. We have 5 Goons right now. 5 Goons right now. I guess a 6th one just coming out. Very close game with Tyson at a slight advantage again. So Motive coming across. Wants to see what he can get done. We don't have any forward pylon or anything over here. That is something that sometimes helps having a forward pylon, making it kind of difficult, making the Reaver maybe shoot at it. It actually costs a Reaver more to kill a pylon than it costs to make a pylon. Woo! You do not want to get hit there. Now that's a good walk forward right there. And he takes actually a pretty big Scarab hit on these units. Motive in a little bit of trouble. Yeah, this is going really heavily to Tyson. Now he does pick off the Reaver, but the Reaver gets 1 final shot, and we're actually... Look at that. Dude, exactly the same again. 2 Dragoons, a very hurt shuttle. Few more health points on Motive shuttle, and that's it. So these attacks they aren't really doing it for Motive, but they're so close. They're so close. 3 workers apart. Shuttle speed is about to finish. This is a very red shuttle, though, so something could go very wrong here. 2 more gates. And Tyson actually going 4 more gates. So 6 gate plus Reaver, 6 gate Goon plus Reaver. That's full production for Protoss versus Protoss on 2 base. And he's almost up to like 2 base all-in probe counts. It's right around 45. Those mid-40s, that's basically a 2 base all-in number for like every matchup. Well, not any Zerg matchups, but you know what I mean. With Protoss and Terran, that's like, okay, we're really mining it. We don't really need... Oh... Well, I felt like we were building up to a really great game here, and now I mean, he just flew a speed shuttle with 2 Reavers over the Goons and lost them. So I feel like maybe nothing will matter from here. This Reaver actually gets in. It's getting a little bit of damage, even if this gets picked off. This Reaver has done infinitely better than his opponents. One thing to note is that Motive did do well with these Goons. He did kill a lot of Goons there. But now we have a 6 probe advantage. And a pretty heavy supply advantage as well, as these Reavers are coming out right now for Tyson. So, yeah, like, I think between the production that he has, having 6 gates up right now against 4... That's like, how are you going to make this work out? The worker count is very similar, but just those earlier gate adds, I think that this was a superb decision by Tyson. He's going to be able to, yeah, look, he's getting Scarab damage, which this is kind of a new thing that people really like in Protoss vs. Protoss. In fact, really in all matchups, that was one of the most underutilized upgrades for the history of StarCraft. It was only really ever seen sometimes in Supreme late game, really big economy. Are you serious? So Motive flew another shuttle into Goons. I mean, the first one was bad, but I felt like, oh, maybe we're coming back to high enough supplies that something can be done. But now it's like, well, 2 less gates, and we now have lost 2 shuttles with Reavers doing 0. That is incredibly painful for Motive. I think Tyson should be able to kill him if he micros well. I like this idea if you bring Goons up here. So instead of trying to shove your way over this bridge, which would be very difficult, and the Reaver pushing will help, if you shove this area and this area at the same time, plus you have the Reavers that, I don't know, maybe they can come in at a different spot, probably through the front though. Yeah, it could make a big difference. So he gets some pretty big shots there. Okay, 1 volley's one of the Reavers, 2 volleys. Oh, that was actually a sick pickup. So they did tank a lot, but doesn't get a ton of shots. Now, Tyson coming up the side with this other group of Goons will end up picking this up. And, dude, this is a lot of dead Goons. Oh, my God. Definitely an advantage right now for Tyson, who is expanding again, though. And, yeah, pushing forward. He's killed off just about everything now. There is another Reaver coming down the ramp, which can help out in the battle quite a bit. But really, he'd have to very efficiently kill all these Goons and do a counterattack, I think, to be able to win this game. So let's see what his micro is going to look like here. Can he get a couple more really big Reaver hits? I feel like Tyson's waiting for this to overcommit, this Reaver. Because he is going to be able to... Look, he's just kind of ignoring it for now. And now as more units come up, like, he is going to be able to overwhelm everything. You can't just stand there and let every single probe die while you peck away at with one Reaver, rather. Now, yeah, he's going to pick that Reaver. I think that's just it then. Yeah, there's really nothing left. You're not going to be able to make anything out of these gates. So I would say just the sloppiness of the Reavers coming over the Goons was probably the biggest thing in the game. And secondarily, the 2 gates not being added quite as quickly as Tyson. I think getting up to that production was very, very smart. Definitely see that happen in mirror matchups sometimes. Like in Terran vs. Terran, that can happen where it's like, yeah, you want to be greedy, but like if your opponent has, you know, 3 more factories than you, that's where you get run over. You got to keep it. You got to keep it pretty close, and having 2 gates is pretty strong. Okay, Well, guys, I hope that you enjoyed a little mirror matchup, a little bit different here. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.